All right, recording. All right, guys, welcome to the third video that we have of Plexus Skeptics. I'm Cody Hawkins. So on this video, I've got Mike Jankowski and Rob Hefley. And this video, the whole purpose of this is to basically get those of us, or you, who are on the fence about Plexus, you're skeptical about network marketing, Plexus in general. The idea is to get you off the fence, because we, all three of us, were skeptics at one point. Now we've turned around, turned the corner, and Rob, especially, who's Emerald himself, has become a superstar, and Mike's well on his way at Senior Gold, soon to be Ruby,
That's it.
Funny thing, I actually am Gold. I just started this journey. It's a crazy thing. So I had to wait until my wife proved me 100% twice over, before I actually joined this. So I'm probably one of the biggest skeptics, and here I am, a full on supporter. So again, whole idea, we want you guys to get off the fence. We know about a lot of the thoughts about network marketing, but we're here to tell you that this company, and if network marketing is done right, it can be different, and it can be a great experience for a lot of people and change a lot of people's lives. The three guys you see here, whether you know us or not, our families have been changed, our futures have been changed, because we found a company that has great products, that has great leadership, and that has a great compensation plan. So we'll go ahead and start with Mike. Mike's in Florida, and thanks for joining us late. I know it's late where you're at, but you got Roxanne is your wife.
Correct.
She is a superstar, right? She's
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, Senior Ruby, soon to be Emerald. I mean, she's going to get there, right?
Oh yeah.
Your sister, Stephanie, just made Emerald.
Right, yep.
And we saw her, Rob and I saw her in Maui on the trip. What was your thought? I mean, who came to you first, and what was your thought when you heard this thing about Plexus?
Well, it was maybe back in maybe March of 2014. My sister kind of approached me and Stephanie, or me and Roxanne, and she wanted to sell us this, this health and wellness thing. And my first question was, well, is it through a medical company? I mean, what is this? And she says, it's Plexus. And I said, well, what is Plexus? And she goes, well, it's multi-level marketing. And then once I heard multi-level marketing, I just told her to stop. And I said, don't even ask me again. I'm not interested. So after that, I guess her and Roxanne started talking a little bit, because Roxanne was actually interested in it. She just had her daughter. Roxanne thought that she was a little bit overweight, and she needed the extra energy and the extra oomph to get her into the gym and make her lose those extra pounds that she packed on during the pregnancy. Roxanne came to me maybe 3 months later, and she's like, I really want to join Plexus. And I said, absolutely not. And being the skeptic and the analytical person that I am just by nature, first thing I did when she went to bed or when I was at work, I began to Google Plexus, seeing what Plexus was about. And then I Googled all the other companies, all these other weight loss, companies and health and wellness companies. And by far, I saw that Plexus, their compensation plan was the best out there. So I went home that night and I said, hey, listen, if you join Plexus, you can join, just don't say a word to me. I don't want to hear anything about Plexus. And that was really our understanding. And I didn't hear anything about Plexus for maybe 3 months. I saw her drinks on the counter and everything else. And then I actually started to see results, and I started to see a different Roxanne. She had more energy. She did lose, I think it was like 7 or 8 pounds in the first 3 months. And it kind of made me start to become a believer. Not to mention, she began to tell me the money that she was making. Then I started asking her. I was like, well, after the 3 months, I was like, well, what got you going? And then she started telling me about, the money she was making, and it got me interested in it. And so I Googled some more, and I did more research, and I eventually became an ambassador. And I personally enjoy the products now. And I would never in a million years thought that I would be part of a multi-level marketing company. And here I am.
It's funny how when somebody makes a little bit of money, actually someone again, makes a little bit of money, we can turn from skeptic to supporter pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you hear about all these successful stories in the multi-level, marketing industry, but you never get to see them personally ever. I mean, I've never seen a successful story until Plexus, really.
Yeah. Rob, what about you? I mean, your wife Jessica is a Diamond Ambassador. You guys have got a 3-year-old son at home. One on the way. Was Jessica trying to lose some weight, or what caused her to actually look into this and do it? And then how did you come along?
Well, we moved back from Ohio to Arkansas, and I asked Jessica, I was like, can you please make $500? I want you, to contribute a month to our income. Because we live on a budget, really big Dave Ramsey people. But I was working gas and oil and traveling with that, but I was counseling two different clinics, so I was working my butt off. And there was no more time for me to make money. At the time, we were paying some debt, a business debt off that we had, and we had a I just couldn't make any more time for myself, and I told her to do that, but I was not thinking multi-level marketing. And I was like, and she told me about Plexus, and I was like, pretty much, I didn't cuss at her, but might as well said that, because we used to own a CrossFit, and I was like, supplements, I've tried pretty much everything out there, and I was like, no, people are going to laugh at us. People are, you cannot even do this. No. And she, okay, whatever, kind of didn't listen to me, but signed up, and she's like, we try the products. I tried the products, and I had seriously probably the worst IBS in the history of the world, like Dumb and Dumber, and it helped with that. And I was like, I would have paid $1,000 a month for this stuff then, just because I didn't know how much. The products were pretty good, and I tried to sabotage the first week too. I ate like a half a gallon of ice cream and drank Cokes and slammed more food, and I still started losing my craving for sweet, which I was like, well, this stuff might be placebo. I don't know. But I started not craving Cokes, because that was kind of my that's what my addiction was with Coca-Cola. But slowly, Jessica, she started in June, and she's like, when are you going to take me serious? And I was like, when you make $500 a month. First month, she made $500. So then take her serious. So she won the thing at Leaders Retreat last year, and she won. And I didn't want to go with her. And, she won that. It was in October, and in September from work, I traveled like 24 days, and I was just wore out traveling. But she's like, you got to go with me. So I went to that and kind of started turning me a little bit. I was like, this might be legitimate. Then she won another trip, Phoenix Silver Stars. And I went with her there and got to meet the CEO, got to see the corporate, all the people, and that really changed my heart probably more than anything, to see the atmosphere there. Just, really last November, I kind of went all in after the Silver Stars trip, started working my business, and started helping her, and had to apologize publicly to say I'm sorry. And just to help her, and it's been great ever since then.
And you made that $500?
Yeah, we made that a few times.
Yeah, a couple times over, right?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that's what I told Jenn. So if those of you don't know, my wife is Jenn Hawkins. She's a Diamond Ambassador, and on her second position, she's an Emerald Ambassador. So she's obviously she's done fantastic with this business. And I told her, our stories are very similar. I told her in the beginning, I said, look, if you're going to do this, I need you to at least break even. That was the first step. Don't go in the hole. Don't lose money, because we were doing Dave Ramsey too, and there wasn't a line item. There wasn't an envelope, right, for Plexus. Okay, so I had to carve out some money. I said, look, within the first 1 or 2 months, if you can just break even and not cost anything, I'm okay with it. Then I want you to make $500 a month. She did that, and then I said, can you make $1,000 a month? If you can do that, you can stay home. And at the time, we were about to have our second kid. So it's amazing how it's worked out. And like you guys, we've made $500, $1,000 a couple times over, which is absolutely incredible, mind-blowing that we could even do this. And Rob, you mentioned that Silver Star trip. What did you get the chance to talk to Tarl or Alec? I mean, sometimes we have to be able to meet the people behind this stuff, and as guys, we have to say, all right, is this guy sleazy, or what is this guy? I mean, what were your thoughts when you first met him?
At the time I actually went to Silver Stars twice. The first time when I went to Mexico, we had dinner with Tarl, and I didn't hold no questions back about asking him. I wanted to ask him about longevity. I wanted to, about where the company's at, as far as, finding the company's not in debt, there's no debt, and just ask questions about, where he's seen the company going, new products. And he answered everything without there was no reservation. There was no, I don't know. And it just really impressed me, because at the same time I was working for a large corporate company that if you ever saw the CEO, he's probably in a lot of trouble. You got a memo, or you might get a 10-year watch, thank you for your service. But there's not, that part of just interaction of him. He opened himself up there. I think that's a big vulnerability thing. And I love that about Plexus. You see Alec and Tarl, our CEO and CMO at all the events. You're around, get to talk to them and ask you how you're doing. And there's just, and it's not about just all business, but I also care about your family, and they try to make the right decisions for the company and for you. And that was a really big thing for me, just, having dinner with him. And like I said, in November, I was silver in November, December last year. I mean, that's where I really went to work after I got home and went at it.
Yeah. And now you're emerald.
Yes, sir. Almost sapphire.
Almost sapphire. There you go. Hey, Mike, you have a similar, I guess, story in that Silver Star trip. And if for those people who don't know, they're new to Plexus, kind of give us a little bit of background on that Silver Star trip, and then what your thoughts were when you and Roxy went to Phoenix.
Well, the Silver Star trip really is for ambassadors that are, I believe it's senior Ruby or below senior Ruby, so you can be Ruby and below. Whoever within Plexus worldwide ambassadors gets the most individuals or other ambassadors beneath them that go silver. They used to select 2, now they select 3, and they fly you for an all expense paid trip from wherever you live to Phoenix, Arizona, and Phoenix or Scottsdale, whatever you want to call it, same city, metro. And they pay for everything and they take care of you. When Roxanne and I went, I was like, well, how much money are we going to have to dish out? And that was one of my first questions. And she's like, well, it's all expense paid. And I said, well, get that in writing for me. You know what I mean? But when we went, it was amazing. I can tell you that. We met Tarl and we met the CFO. We actually had dinner with the CFO, Alec. And actually Alec and his 2 kids. Shows that he's a family man himself. And he went over everything, and he knew the business like the back of his hand. We went to corporate headquarters. We saw I couldn't even tell you how many employees they had. It was crazy. And they were building the brand new corporate headquarters, which was absolutely ginormous. So, this company is growing, and it's only going to continue to grow in my belief.
Yeah. So I know we talked about this earlier today, and to me, if I see that structure, and it's kind of weird, I don't know if it's psychological or what, but I see that corporate structure that I'm used to, that I'm comfortable with. You saw it there. Those of us who went back to the groundbreaking of the new headquarters saw it, but we saw all these employees. We heard the stories about how just a couple of years ago there were only a handful of them. Now there's over 100 of them. They seem so thankful, and it really does seem like Tarl and Alec have created an amazing atmosphere, not only there at corporate headquarters, but among the ranks for ambassadors too. So just the environment, it had to feel pretty awesome when you were there.
Oh, most definitely. And and it made me think as we got involved with more in Plexus. Really every company has a pyramid. You have someone at the top, and then you slowly work your way down. But whereas Plexus, you make your own hours and you work from the house. What more could you really ask for? And really, it's your business. You work if you work as hard as you want, or you can become a slug and not work at all. It's really what it's up to you. You determine your income.
So where do you, Mike? Where do you guys see your business going in the near future? Not only with Plexus, but you guys are growing fast. You and Roxanne have
oh yeah, substantial growth. Yeah, very substantially. We're growing. Yeah, it started off with a couple ambassadors a month, and now it's I couldn't even tell you how many ambassadors we're getting a month, and it's because the products are working as well, and the residual income. I was scared at first. I was like, well, Roxanne, you're making all this money, but how long is that going to last?
Sure.
But once you dedicate yourself and you train your ambassadors, those ambassadors are going to train the other ambassadors, and it's only going to continue to grow because you're selling products that work. And I got to understand if you these products didn't work, but they work. So you're just like a medical company selling whatever, you know?
Yeah. Rob, what about you? I mean, you've been on that trip to Phoenix, but your team is growing too. I mean, what advice would you give to somebody who wants to get this started and wants to have the growth that you and Jessica have had?
I really, you know, one of the hardest things is like getting over yourself if you're a dude.
Yeah.
There's pride. I mean, I'm all male, you know, redneck, about as, you know, but I love, you know, the freedom that's provided from our family, you know, and that's what helped me kind of get over yourself, you know, their pride right there, because man, this company's, it's got great products, it's got great people, and, you know, be proud, you know, that part of it, just getting over yourself and being proud, and it's getting out there and just, you know, you're sharing something that's great. Yeah. It's not like you're hard selling people, but you're sharing good products. And that's where, when you share those products with somebody, there's no like, you know, I don't feel bad about it. I feel good, like I'm helping somebody today. That's one thing I love to help people, because, you know, I said I'm a therapist earlier, but I was like, you know, that part of being able to help people physically, and also giving some of them opportunities to get out of debt. Like I have so many friends that I've shared Plexus with that have student loan debt, you know, just to help them make that payment, which is a really cool thing for me. And seeing our teams grow, because we're really being able to pour into people and help them, is just a big deal. And I think when you get outside of yourself and start to help people, that is when you can really be successful in this business.
Very cool. Yeah. Any advice you would give? I mean, again, you got this guy listening. Maybe he's still not convinced. Maybe he's still saying, yeah, it's great for you, but I'll support you kind of, but, you know, I'm not really interested in getting in the business myself. You guys are proof, and we're proof that the guys can do this as well. We can sell pink drink, right? We can sell.
Yeah.
So again, what is it if a guy is still on the fence, if he wants to push forward, but he's like, man, there's a lot of pink stuff, you know, I'm not interested in Bloomingdale, whatever it is. I mean, how do you get them off the fence? Beyond, you know, even if it's just becoming a supporter or a business partner.
I really think, you know, when I talk to people, I try to listen for their why, because a lot of times it might be health. It might be, if it's health, you know, you can sit there and say, this is what you need. Or if it's financial, hey, like, you know, financial, what could, you know, extra $500, $1,000 do for your life, you know? Because I really believe part-time work, you know, you're going to eventually be successful with this, you know. And I tell people, like, hey, just give this a chance. I'm really big about, let's give this business a year. You know, if you give it a year and learn it, because you go to college for 4 years to make $40,000, but if you give me a year, you know, I think you can be doing really well. And that's one of those things too, just, you know, really big into training. And I'm one of those people, I'm like, I want you on my team, because I believe we're on the best team, which I'm on your last downline, Cody. So always.
That's right. Best team.
And no, but I'm not into there, because I really believe successful people, you know, you attract successful people,
right,
and give them a chance to see that, hey, there is opportunities for everybody in here. And that's what I love about Plexus, is we all start the same $34.95 to join. Everybody does.
Yeah. So Mike, what about you? Are you, I know you're still getting situated and comfortable in this role. What are you doing to kind of help get guys off the fence, or people off the fence who may be skeptical, but somewhat interested?
Really, I mean, this is an investment of your health, and an investment for, you know, monetary gains, and for your future family. And I mean, you can eventually quit your job if you really want to work the business. It's an investment, like I said, for both your health and your future. And you know, what's $34.95? You know, like Rob was saying, you know, it's, you go spend that at dinner one night. You know, it's a very simple and easy decision to make. And be a product of the product. You know, if you're taking the product, you know, represent that product. And really, I mean, I'm not a big Facebook share, and I'm not always on Facebook. I mean, my customers come from people at work. I mean, they see me taking the products, and they see me, you know, have the energy, and they ask me, like, what are you drinking? Or, you know, I do the 96 for lunch. You know, what is that? And I explain it to them, and then they're like, oh, okay. You know, and then they get a little interested, and then, you know, I explain it to them, and then they become more interested, you know, both on the selling side and the products themselves.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, hey, you know, we talked about, we mentioned that statistics are important, facts and figures are important sometimes for guys. And I've got a couple of numbers here for you that we do within the network marketing industry. It does $120 billion annually in sales. Okay. That's pretty big. That's a lot of sales. We have $50 billion of that being paid in commission, so being paid out. So of the 120, $50 billion is going back into the pockets of Americans. Growth has been over 19 of the last 20 years. The industry has grown. We've seen little slumps, but overall, it's grown as an industry. People say, is it regulated? Yeah, it's highly regulated. The Direct Selling Association, they've got their own website. They've got some facts and figures here. I won't go into them all, but it kind of breaks down and gives you some demographics about who's doing direct selling, how much money, again, that I mentioned is being made off of it. Interesting, we talked earlier, Plexus has probably a higher number of women, but 75% of women are direct sellers and 25% are men. So, I mean, as guys, we have an opportunity to maybe bring some new guys into this, and it's untapped potentially. It's making extra income, whether it's to supplement retirement, whether it's to go on a vacation, or whether it's to retire a spouse. I mean, retire now and do this full time, like some of us have done. There's a lot of potential, and I guarantee you it's a lot better than the 1%, 2%, 3% raises that a lot of us are used to. You know what I mean? So Rob, we'll wrap it up with you. Any final thoughts that you want to give to people listening?
I just, like being male, the demographic, I know it's a woman's world, but, right now there's 151.4 million men in the U.S. Okay, that is a wide open demographic. If you look at Plexus, I believe, guys, I'm advocating for change in Plexus to be more men. I sit there and recruit guys all the time. I live where I want to live. I drive what I want to drive. I work when I want to work. And I'm with my kid when I want to be, and my wife. I went on 6 vacations paid by Plexus this year. 6. And, I got to retire by my wife, and now I'm working in business. This is the best opportunity I've ever been in. I've started a couple businesses, and for a $34.95 investment, the return of investment is over thousands of times. Mm-hmm. And I would say this is the right time, the right place. Plexus is in like a sweet spot. Just like you're hitting the middle of that bat. We're in a place right now, the company's completely out of debt. We're in that place where people can join and still make a substantial amount of money if they want to, if they just want to make enough just to pay their rent. Mm-hmm. So right now, I think it's the right time, the right place, and right products. And it's one of those things that if I could get my whole family and all my friends to join, that's what I try to do. Is like, this is the best decision I've ever made in my life.
And for those of you that don't know, you don't have to get a Lexus. All right, Rob drives his Plexus Power Stroke F250, so you can get that as well. That's an option. So, what about you, Mike? Any final thoughts? Any final words? Advice?
Just to harp on what Rob said, I mean, really, Plexus is growing. I mean, it's not you don't have, it's not nationwide like a lot of the multi-level marketing companies, not necessarily in health and wellness, but it's really untapped right now for the male audience. And how many times at work, or how many times have you been talking to your friends and they're, around 1 o'clock, they're all sluggish or whatever. And they're like, I really need coffee, or I really could lose a couple pounds. It's something that you could recommend. Hey, listen, I got this product. It's awesome. It's worked for me. Why don't you give it a shot? And it's not like you got to sell the pink drink. You don't got to say, hey, this is the pink drink. You can say, hey, this is Plexus Slim, or hey, this is, Bio Cleanse, or whatever the case may be. And you don't have to necessarily sell them on the pink, but the male audience is virtually untouched in Plexus.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being on this call. We did it in under 25 minutes. That's still pretty good, right? I think so. Most guys should stay tuned and watch it all. If you haven't visited we've got a page out there on Facebook. Plexus Man Cave is a good page for men, by men. And it's a good place for guys to go, whether you're just starting out as an ambassador in the business, or you want to support your spouse who's doing it and you don't know how, but you want to learn about the business. It's a great place to go on. And guys I'm really surprised at how supportive we are. I mean, we come together and we have this little close, tight, private community, and we do a really good job of helping each other out and pushing each other along, because we really do want everybody to be successful in this, because at least the 3 of us here, if I can speak for you guys, we really do feel like this is an amazing company, and with a lot of upside, a lot of potential, and still a lot of room for growth.
Most definitely.
So guys, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. And we'll post this video here shortly. And thanks for watching.